add to your collection if you already have the basics. So I got this comment a couple weeks ago because a lot of the videos that I make are around starting your handbag collection. What makes something worth it? Is it timeless? How to ensure that you're not going to regret your decision or your purchase, because at the end of the day, these are very expensive items. These are thousands of dollars. And so I have a lot of videos on bags to consider when you're first starting out, which bags to bring to the office, you know, the list goes on. But I got this comment a couple weeks ago and I thought this was such a fun video of bags to consider getting if you already have the basics. You already have the neutrals, you already have your core classic collection. What should you consider getting instead? And honestly, I'm kind of at this point as well where I feel like I have a lot of the classic bags. I have my core collection, but I'm also itching to buy something new, and I'm itching for something that's kind of different in my collection. So every single time that I'm trying to add a new bag to my collection, I kind of look for gaps as to what I feel like I'm missing. And I have a list of a couple bags that I think are unique enough. They don't have to be extreme price points as well. I try to keep it like relatively a mixed price range, but here are a couple you should consider getting if you feel like you already have a relatively robust collection. Starting off with my personal favorite is the Loewe elephant raffia bag. And you guys know I have this bag. I take this with me on vacation. It used to retail for like under $1,000. Now I think it's around $1,300. And this is such a unique bag because yes, there's an elephant on it, but it doesn't look like an elephant at first glance. It just kind of looks like a regular raffia bag. And I think this is a perfect way to kind of change up the style and steer away from the classics, but it's still very much usable. It is relatively seasonal, but it's still very much a usable and functional bag. The next bag I think would be perfect for any dog lover, and if I had endless amount of money, I would definitely add this to my collection as well. It's the Thom Browne dog bag. I believe it's the Hector collection, so they have different sizes. They have top handle versions, they have crossbody, they have different patterns. They also have different animals as well, but I think it's sometimes more seasonal. So I remember seeing like a giraffe. I think I've seen like a panda maybe. So there's definitely quite a few different variations of the Thom Browne Hector bag. The next two I'm just gonna combine as one because they are relatively similar. It's the Lady Dior and the Louis Vuitton Capucine. And I feel like both of these bags inherently very classic, right? Very simple. And more often than not, you probably either have one or both of these in your collection already. However, I think both of these bags do a really good job of incorporating like new collection, limited edition versions, even like art versions of these bags. I know the Capucine has a ton of art. I think it's called like the artsy Capucine. So there's a ton of different variations there. And then with Dior, of course, there's a huge variety. You can get embellishments, you can get different designs and so many different colors, exotics, regular leather. Like there are so many different variations with each of these bags that you don't have to get the classic black version with gold hardware. You know, like the world is your oyster with both of these options. I wanted to include this option as well because I'm not typically a very like outgoing person in terms of my fashion. I typically stick to my neutrals, I stick to my beige, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And I know that there's a good amount of people out there who like to play it safe like I do, and I feel like this bag is in a way you play it safe but also still unique enough where you don't see this every single day. This is the bamboo top handle from Gucci. It kind of reminds me of the Lady Dior, a little bit of the Capucine. I think what makes this bag stand out is the bamboo handle. It's very much like low-key, quiet luxury look and feel. You really don't see any kind of like Gucci logo, and you really, if you know, you know. The only time I've actually seen this in the media, I mean outside of like fashion shows and whatnot, is actually in White Lotus. And so I think this is such a unique style bag that still gives you a classic look and feel and versatility compared to like, for example, the Hector bag from Thom Browne, but it still has elements of it being unique. Moving over to seasonal bags, because we have to talk about Chanel Cruise Collection. This was just released earlier this month, and I think this was one of the more anticipated collections from Chanel. This debuted about 6 months ago in Lake Como, and there's a lot of different variations with this bag. I think the type of bag that people were most looking forward to is the Mini 25, which I did get my hands on, but there's also a lot of more unique styles as well. So there's like this one cupcake bag, It does say price upon request, so it's probably gonna cost you your entire life, but we do love to see it. I actually was able to try on the sequined Kelly, or the shopping bag, and it is absolutely stunning. I think this would be perfect if you are in your bridal era. It's still a very unique bag that not everybody's going to have, and probably will fill some sort of gap in your collection. The next thing we have to talk about is Judith Leiber. If you are into crystals, if you are into unique shaped bags, they're not going to be practical. Let's get that out there. These are not going to be practical bags, but these are very much like statement bags. I think you can probably put like your lipstick in there if you really needed to, but really she's not going to fit very much. But they have a wide variety of designs. They have anything from fries to hot dogs to eggplant to a block of cash. They have every single design you could think of, and I think these are so iconic. I think we have to include some kind of exotic bag in this list. I have not gotten to the point where I'm buying exotics yet, but I think an exotic Kelly pochette, an exotic mini Kelly is one of those things that will definitely help you fill some sort of gap in your handbag collection. Now, again, not a practical bag, but a very beautiful one. And last but certainly not least, I think part of the reason why people like luxury, part of the reason why people gravitate towards luxury is for the exclusivity aspect of it, right? Price point obviously is a big barrier to entry, but also people like things that not everyone can get. And I think the ultimate way to get something that is unique that not everyone can get is a vintage or limited edition design. And there's something that I think people who thrift or shop vintage a lot, it's their way of gatekeeping, because they'll be like, oh yeah, sorry, it's vintage. Like, I can't help you. You can't get one because, oh, sorry, it's vintage. You know what I mean? And so I think people love to be able to do that. A couple styles that really come to mind, I mean, just looking at Fashion File, you can see all of the different styles they have available. They have a iridescent Louis Vuitton keepall. Like, that's not something you see every day. I also don't know that I would use this, but this is absolutely stunning. They also have this metal star bag from Chanel. This also is not terribly priced as well. This is $7,500. Very much a statement bag, but you can still kind of see the interweaving design in the metal that still looks and feels like Chanel. And the last option, even if you're not into exotics yet, I think this is such a unique piece. This is the Hermes Constance, but it has the dancing flowers, and I think in certain lighting you can definitely see the flowers a little bit more. Otherwise, still just a very subtle look and feel. Okay, so that sums it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if there is a really unique bag that you've been eyeing on your list, or this is going to be like your next handbag, or something that you would admire from afar but like don't know that you would necessarily get yet. But let me know what that is in the comments. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave another video for you guys here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!